Hello, crafty friends. This is Amy. Thank you for joining me. I stopped in at Dollar General and I picked up some half price items. This was one of them. In fact, I don't think it was even $2.50. I think they gave it to me for $1.25. So I'm going to make these over very cute. And all of my projects today are using napkins. And so I was fascinated with this using a napkin on burlap. And so what I'm going to do is just paint the back of this burlap a little white with just some plain old acrylic paint and then allow that to dry. And then once it was dry, I fit it in there and then I put some glue so it would stay. And then I was looking around to see which napkin I'd like to use, and this is what I came up with. I wanted something that would tie in with all the colors there. This piece of decor is really cute because it's got that green background. And so I found these very pretty napkins with some sunflowers on it, and that kind of goes well with the green. Now, just put it on like if you were going to, do normal decoupage and put it on your layer of the Mod Podge. And then we're going to lay down the napkin. And while everything is still wet, then do you see the sponge I've got there? That you can use to press it down, and the napkin will actually go into the grooves of the burlap. It looks really neat, you guys. So check this out. Always, with each of these projects, I just wanted to reinforce two. You always want to get down to the very first layer. The top layer is what you're going to use on any napkin art project. It might be a little hard to see, but it's just so neat how that burlap just shows through with the texture of it, and it just looks like it's all one part of it. I just thought it was so fun. And then I'm just going to put a cute little wooden sign on it and put that down with some glue and called it good. Really quick and easy, you guys. Just repurposing a Dollar General sign that was half price or even more and making it into fall decor. Well, let's keep looking. We've got more to see here. And let's look on DIY number 2. Okay, another napkin. We're just going to cut this square down and bring it down to the very first layer. Napkins can be for two or three layers. And this one's very, very quick. This is how you make a card out of a napkin. These are the layers. Parchment paper, cardstock. Put some cling wrap over it. This becomes your adhesive. Lay down your napkin and then cover the entire thing with more parchment paper. And then you're going to heat it up with an iron. I didn't use my iron. I've actually got one of the Cricut heat pads. And really, I ended up putting that on at about a 400 degrees Fahrenheit in order to get that cling wrap to melt underneath. That becomes your adhesive, and it's going to make everything stick together. And just check it now and then to make sure everything's glued down or hot and melted. And once everything's secure, just remove your parchment paper and then trim along, and it's good to go. And this makes it look so professional. Everything's nice and flat. It doesn't change any of the color. There's no bubbles. It's just really, really fun. Wouldn't that be a cute little Thanksgiving card or a fall card just to say hello to someone that you want to, reach out to and bring them some cheer? Okay, DIY number 3. This I bought at Hobby Lobby last year and decided to do something with this. And of course, we're going to do the napkin art. And I probably bought these napkins at the same time and bringing it down to the one layer. And I'm going to use 2 of those blocks to just do the bottom part, the fall part. You can see I've kind of got my fan on and it's blowing it around. So it is a little bit, you've got to bring the base to a color so it's a little more vibrant. So I'm just painting some acrylic white on the base of that word fall. And then when everything's dry, put down your Mod Podge. And now, once I get this down, I'm trimming it away, and I decided to try a new technique, and it's using a lighter. And you'll see what happens to what I did. Now watch how this goes. I think I know where my error was. See how I'm putting the Mod Podge on the top. I don't think you'd want to do that part. And also you're going to want to have less of the paper. At first it was like, oh, this is working out just fine. So I did that. And then, like I said, I had the Mod Podge on top. And it ended up burning a little bit of that. And I did not like that. And to spare you, the details, I tried coloring it over and sanding it down. I basically ended up just covering the whole thing again with another piece of napkin. This is just showing you I brought in some of the brown ink and just applying that down to the hello part. And I'd already done the second napkin on the front of that. So 2 things you don't want to do is probably put that Mod Podge on the top and keep it to just a small amount that burns off. I will try it again because I kind of learned from my mistakes now what I did wrong. So fun and fall looking. Let's keep moving on. DIY number 4. Okay, I want to say I was trying to figure out, I've been trying to, perfect how to put napkins on glass. And so I did actually do a little research. I've done this before, research on what others do. And I found a lady on YouTube, and she does a lot of it. And I'm just going to look up her. It's Decoupage DIY with Joan. Let me look here. I'm sorry. Joan Marie Domino. And so she had these great tips on using, putting the water on the top there to make it kind of a fringe edge. And that really helps it blend in. And, just tips on how to prep the jar, which I kind of knew about, putting the alcohol wipe on there just to, make sure you don't have any dirt or any stickiness or any grease. And that making that base the best it can be. And then 2 coats of the chalk paint because it was so nice and it, covers nicely and it does actually have kind of a little bit of a texture. And then once you've prepped your napkin, then you can do it just like I've done here. And she recommended, just doing a little bit at a time. And that's what I did is I just followed along and it did turn out very nicely. And then just take your time, do a good job, and you're going to have a nice little jar when you get all done. And then one of the other things that she would do is she'd have like maybe a little plastic wrap or a baggie over her fingers, and that she'd use rather than just her bare fingers on, putting it down, so you got rid of any bubbles. And then just going to add a little color to the rim on the top. And once I got this down there, I wanted it darker. So this Waverly Pool color definitely wasn't dark enough, but it dried really fast. And then I got out the vintage duck egg from Dixie Belle, and that definitely helped, make things look a lot more country, and it blended a whole lot better. And then Joan also recommends that you use a little varnish. And then, of course, we got a little jute string to tie it off. And check it out. Isn't that just cute? It almost looks like someone painted on the jar. Isn't that fun? I'm just pleased with it. Let's keep going. Couple more DIYs. Number 5. You guys all know I sell Chocolate Tour, and if you wanted to buy, something like this cute little, the paddle, or not a paddle, cutting board. It isn't really a cutting board, but it's a faux cutting board for painting and decorating, and it's smaller. It's a 5x7. So just going to show you how I'm going to put a pretty little napkin. Now I'm using acrylic ink, or acrylic paint here, not chalk paint. Allow that to dry, and then I'm just going through, because I wanted to make the edge, with that little frayed edge, so it kind of blends in nicely, but I didn't bring it all the way down to the checked part, because that needs to stay exactly the way it is. Now look at, this is the fun part. Taking off the blue tape, and it's got a nice sharp edge. And here we're gonna, this is another tip from Joan Marie, that she would use just a little bit of Mod Podge, and then made it a lot easier to separate the layers of your napkins. And then we're gonna put the Mod Podge on it, and just like we did the jar, just start at the bottom, or at one side, and apply it and roll it as you go. Doing it in this way keeps things from, folding over, under folding, or, the bubbles. It minimizes the bubbles, and it makes sure that you get every piece of that, put down with Mod Podge, so everything can be securely put down on your wood. I really love this napkin. It's just so cute. When you're out and about having fun with your friends and you happen to see a little package of cute napkins, pick them up, because then there's always a fun project you can do with them. And it's always good to have napkins too if you don't want to use them for all crafting. Now that little handle above is perfect for tying a little ribbon and putting another little flower on it. So fun. This is, last but not least, the last piece of our DIYs, and these are napkins. I believe I got these at Dollar General, and I'm just kind of cutting apart the flowers. And these little cuties I got at Target, and I've probably had them at least a year, and they were $3 for 3 of them, so $1 a piece. Easy. Make sure everything's down to that first layer, and just put them on however you want. Dollar Tree does have some fun things in their little dollar section when you first walk into the store. Make sure you pop in and check that out. because it's got some fun things that you can decorate and you've not spent a whole lot of money on it. These kind of look like hand-painted flowers, like watercolor in a way. And of course you could add more to these little cuties. You could even put in some flowers. I didn't have anything that I was thinking, I don't know. Let's just show off the prettiness of these little tiny vases. Aren't those just adorable? Well, I want to thank you all for watching my video and checking it out, my napkin art. Please subscribe, and we will see you on the next channel or on the next video. Bye-bye, my friends.